kind of give you a preview, is what is Panini going to do moving forward? These licensing are quickly expiring, and we're not hearing much from them. So we're going to speculate on what they might do or what they could possibly do, maybe even what we think they should do. And then in our local news, if you're not local to Ohio, there's a card show called the Great American Sports Card Show in Xenia, Ohio. A lot of us just refer to it as the Xenia Card Show. That show was recently purchased by a local card shop. So
in the Dayton area.
In the Dayton area. So we are going to try to figure out, what would we do if we bought it? Would we make any changes? Would we make severe changes, small changes? What do we think they should do moving forward? Was it a good move? That sort of thing, and just kind of review that. So that's the two things. So we'll just start with Panini.
Okay.
And I'll let Bill go first, and I'll just ask the question to just kind of set it up for our AI programming. What do you feel that Panini is going to do moving forward, or what do you think they should do?
So they've already showed that they're very desperate for trying to cash out on their way out, or they wouldn't have introduced this new product that I just came privy of today, of the Mahomes autograph product and all that. They do currently have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Hunter, and one of the other draft picks, Sherrod Sanders, under contract until March 31st, 2026. Well, ironically, that is the last day that they have an NFL license, and it automatically goes over to Topps, and Topps has been chopping at the bit for over 2 years for this acquisition. So, Panini is, I still am under the context in my mind that there was a backdoor deal between Topps and Panini to basically, hey, we'll lay down on 2025 product. We will let you produce product. You get hey, you're going down the road. We're going to go ahead and instead of you going out in a taxi, we're going to go ahead and get you a limo on your way out the door. Thank you. And then Fanatics will acquire them. And they are, at some point, very, without those licenses, contrary to their belief, they are worth a lot less money without those licenses, because they only have WNBA under contract right now. They have racing and a few golf, some sort of golf thing. There's not much that they have under contract that they can still produce products with. Now, they do still have a contract with the NCAA, but I assume that expires at some point, and I guarantee you Fanatics will be in a bidding war for them to try to contract that too. So, I mean, if they lose that, and the WNBA has hit their stride and will not hit that stride again, they are very susceptible for a takeover, and I think that they should just basically sell themselves out to Fanatics, take the money. They know their revenues will be cut in half, if not 3/4, for the next 2 years, and you should cash out while you can.
Okay, so the question is, what is Panini going to do in the future, or possibly what should they do next or in the future? So, I just have a few different points here. One of the things they could do, now, granted, Bill just mentioned, they only have basically a very limited FIFA World Cup Soccer license. They have Live Golf, which is possibly going to be back into the PGA. They have NASCAR, which I love the NASCAR line. Besides maybe NT, it wasn't great. I've liked most of the products this year. Had to reorder, after getting a couple cases, had to reorder Prism Racing yet again. It's been a very value-driven product. WNBA is not a bad product line for them to have. It really seems to depend a lot on Caitlin Clark's health. So one of the things they could do is they could release more brands under each product line. So to make that clear, when they do NASCAR, instead of doing 5 NASCARs, we can do 10 NASCARs. Bring out some of the other product lines that you've done like you've done like Leafs rookies and stars,
Mm-hmm.
do rookies and stars,
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR, that sort of thing. That's one of the things they could do to try to gain some more money. I don't know if that's what they'll do, but that is one thing that maybe they could look at. One thing that everybody expected them to do that I'm now questioning, and this might be shocking to you, is I expected them to continue to do unlicensed things. They've basically been doing something kind of like that with baseball. For the most part, some product lines sell pretty okay in the baseball unlicensed line, not as well as others, but it does sometimes sell. But here's the thing, we get solicitations all the time for future products. And I have 2026 Prism WNBA, not 2025 that hasn't released, but 2026 already solicited to me. I've already put in orders for that. They're already soliciting for next year's NASCAR. I've got orders in for that. But nothing as far as an unlicensed football, nothing as far as an unlicensed basketball product seems to be in the pipeline. Now, there's a bunch of football that's going to be pushed out before that license flips to Tops. So, one other thing
Mm-hmm.
they could do that they may need to do is to find a buyer. But as Bill alluded to, there is a question. There's a question, especially with the weirdness of Topps not doing 2025 football unlicensed when they did it the year before,
Yep.
that makes you question if there really is already potentially some kind of backdoor deal that they've made with Topps, an under the
Mm-hmm.
table handshake kind of thing, where they let them set back, Top setback, and let them run with it in 2025, and then maybe can kind of purchase
Mm-hmm.
the entire company. So it's really interesting what the future may hold for them.
Mm-hmm.
But like for instance, the Prism Draft Picks product, we sold out of all our hobby boxes, reordered, sold out
Mm-hmm.
again. Uh, got in a few cases of megas,
Mm-hmm.
almost sold out. Just got those in like a
Yep.
week ago. Got in several cases of blasters. They're gone. And I saw somebody open in a box. They're beautiful cards. I don't know what Panini needs to do, but like I just saw Jeremiah Smith pulled the just yesterday, day before, and Collar Blast pulled just
Mm-hmm.
yesterday.
Yep.
They're beautiful cards, and I hope that something can be worked out with Topps and them, or something can be worked out where they continue to make those cards.
Mm-hmm. Now, for the key thing that I would say that you were talking about was NASCAR racing. The key to that selling is the price point.
Yes,
If you think that you're going to all of a sudden turn a Prism box that's a hundred to what is 130 bucks, 140
it's
bucks,
135 is what we've been
130
doing.
bucks, and you think that you're going to get like $800 out of it, like your Panini basketball or Panini Prism basketball or football,
Yeah,
it's never going to happen.
good point.
That um, that amount of people that are collecting it, some are collecting it because they really like it, and those people will continue to buy it. There is a portion of people that collect it because that's all they can afford, and they can actually buy a hobby box. If you raise that price, you're going to lose more people. And I don't think you can spawn off into 5 or 10 different brands, because what you're going to find is in the past, with when you had Press Pass and you had all these other companies doing that, and they were making like 8 million brands.
Hmm.
There's a reason why Press Pass is out of business.
Hmm.
Went out of business and stuff like that. So I don't think that that's an option for them to. They could attack that market with more stuff, or maybe a percentage higher. But there's a reason why people are buying that. It's because the price point.
Yep.
And the WNBA, they definitely they. I think that they found out on their second year with Caitlin Clark in the season, that or in the league, that she is not selling like they thought, and I think that they bet the house on it.
Yeah.
Also, the WNBA or so Major League Baseball, they could still do the way they've done it. The problem is when the current draft picks that are going in Major League Baseball,
Hmm.
they go into a minor league system mostly. Now, Paul Skeens did not. Paul Skeens went right up, within so long was in the pros. Most of those people go into minor league systems and do not have professional contracts. That's the reason why they can't have a guy comes out, gets drafted this year, until he has a pro contract. He cannot have a Tops labeled card, a rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why they could put out a baseball set with that player, and they have such a big league of minor league, like Pioneer League, Go Paint.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you got all those different leagues, single A, double A, triple A. You have all those leagues and stuff like that. Those players are moving on to, so but they don't have a major league contract. When you take people that are drafted into the NBA, they have a major league contract. That's what they signed. They don't. Um, they do have a league, C League or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody go there. Nobody, very few people make it out of there back to the NBA. And NFL, they definitely go to the teams. They sign a major league contract. They don't, so they're not available to put those people in. Also, if you put out a basketball product, one, you can't put LeBron in it, or you can't put Kobe in it because Kobe doesn't. Kobe, I think at some points will be fanatic. So that's just another. That's another day thing. LeBron or Michael Jordan is Upper Deck for life. I mean, he's got a tramp stamp. I think Upper Deck. Anyways, he so there's not many people from the WNBA that you can have to pull to buy the older people that are in that set, or
Mm-hmm.
you're retired like they've done baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And in football, Tom Brady, one, owns a card vault, and two, is fanatics for life.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically you've taken out any and the people that you could get for that product, like your Joe Montanas have signed so many autographs to leave that their autographs are jokes when you get them. So now you're stuck with you can't put out an NBA, you can't put out an NFL license card product, you cannot put out an NBA product. So now all you got is your baseball, your soccer, or whatever, your
Mm-hmm.
racing, and that is a shell of a company. It may be more profitable because you don't have to pay your dues to the WNBA or to Major League Baseball or Major League Football, NFL, and NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But that will drastically hurt you on the bottom line of the money you make from your products.
Yeah, I would agree. I guess one of the things we didn't cover is Panini may have some deals that are like non-sports. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like there might be some things like I think they did Rolling Stones. I think they just did Squishimals. And they did a few things like that. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
they could even, as we talked last week, where Fanatics was pivoting
Mm-hmm.
into kind of more of the trading
Yeah.
card or like TCG
Mm-hmm.
kind of gaming kind of thing. Maybe they could do something like that. But yeah,
I mean,
overall,
the bad thing is a lot of your major license, your Disney,
hmm
your Marvel,
hmm
all fanatics already.
yeah,
The Rolling Stones, that's just an oddity.
yeah,
That's really just a one-off thing. I mean, they can't keep on putting out next year is going to be a new Keith Richards
yeah,
rookie
or
card.
Kiss, or
You
just
know,
keep jumping
I mean,
around.
they
Yeah,
could go around and keep on paying these people to put out products, but at some point you run out of people.
yeah.
And how does that not cross over into where
Dude,
Leaf is putting
well,
out their Leaf Pop Century
no, no,
already?
no. I was gonna just ask your opinion. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the way that you described it, it's like you said, it's a shell of a company.
Mm-hmm.
Is really Panini standing any better than Leaf in 6 months?
No.
No.
Um, So they do have the NASCAR license, and if people would start liking these drivers more, than they are more inspirational,
Yeah.
like your older drivers. I mean, I don't follow NASCAR, so I'm out of that thing. I just could say, but I don't think that people are buying NASCAR because the because they're I don't know. I guess I don't know that market that well, but definitely. I mean, there's only so much that you can print,
hmm
and if you're losing, if if 3/4 of your money is gone because you can't sell Major League Baseball a good product, Major League Baseball that's authentic, I think that it's going to, and we're also getting back to a time where it's a major thing for it not to be airbrushed, for
hmm
it to be, it is a Chicago Cubs card, not a Chicago card. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that is, and especially with the amount of money that's behind this stuff, I think that's going to come more to the surface than it has in the past.
Okay. All right, so we'll close that subject. So, what is Panini going to do? Just some thoughts, maybe what they'll do, what they
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't do from us. Now, again, I'll explain this other one, and I even let
Yep.
Bill jump in here again a little bit. He might have less thoughts on this one than I did,
Oh, I
But
got all kinds of thoughts.
yeah, so one of the local card shows, which is a big card show in Ohio, running around 350 tables now, I believe.
Hmm.
And it is the Xenia Card Show, is what we call it
Hmm.
for short. But it's the Great American Sports Card Show in Xenia, Ohio. So it's definitely one of the bigger card shows in Ohio. It's absolutely probably the biggest monthly
Hmm.
card show
Absolutely.
in Ohio. And it was just recently purchased by Gem City Sports Cards in
Hmm.
Fairborn, which is just outside of Dayton.
Yep.
And they purchased it maybe with cooperation of another couple. So like a guy owns Gym City, and
And
maybe
his wife.
and his wife, and maybe a friend and his wife like went together to purchase it. And so we're kind of giving, I've been putting on shows for about 15 years now, and we can debate if they're successful or not. Some are more successful than others, and so I just have some thoughts of what I would do, what I think could happen there. And so I'll let Bill go, his comments on if anything needs to change. Is there need to be drastic changes, small
Hmm.
changes, that sort of thing with the Xenia show?
Okay. So, to be honest with you, there is absolutely nothing. I did read on their Instagram that they're going to be big things happening. Well, I'm sorry. I have very little faith that that can happen. Big things due to you are in a fairgrounds.
Mhm.
Okay, so your buildings, other than of the four buildings they use, only two of them are heated, and that is not the major two buildings, and not and no air conditioning. So the problem is you can't buy into a thing and think all of a sudden now I'm going to have a show 12 times a year,
Mhm.
and that weather and whatever is not going to come into play at some point. There's always people that come in after the Greene County Fair is there, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that room smelled like
Yeah.
manure." You know why? Because the week before there was manure on the floor. You can only clean so much. The
Mhm.
the the, the smell is in the air.
Mhm.
Anyways, I think it's fitting. It's a
Mhm.
fairgrounds. Anyways, I do not know how you can't make it you can't make it less than once a month
Mhm.
to make it more special. Like there's not going to be like one you'd be like, oh, July, we're going to have it's going to be an autograph thing. We're going to get all these autograph guests in. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't think that brings anybody in. I mean, you're not going to a different crowd.
Mhm.
Though I don't see them losing attendance of people setting up because there are so many people that are, because of the price of the hobby and the price of everything going up and everything, there is a percentage of people that have to be on Whatnot, and they have to constantly trying to find replacement supplies to sell the next week.
Mhm.
It's constantly. Um, it's not like, and these aren't collectors. These are people that are buying inventory to sell. I need to buy it today. I'm selling it on Monday. I'm buying it today. I'm selling on Monday. That's it. Literally, that's all it is. So um, I don't see anything wrong with buying it. I mean, if the price was right, and I heard it was.
Mhm.
I'm actually more surprised that Ryan Johnson, Card Collector 2, and Brad Beeman didn't end up with it. But I think due to the distance, and they already have a show
Mhm. A
in
good show.
Grove City
Mhm.
that is more of a, it is more of a, uh, it has potential to be just as big a show, but only 3 or 4 times a year. And that way, it can be a spectacle, not just, hey, I'm going to, because I've had several people that have referred to the Xenia show as it's basically just a flea market,
Mhm.
and that's it. I don't know how you fix it
Okay.
or change it to something better.
Okay. Um, so the question that we're debating is, um, you know, Gym City
Hmm.
bought the Xenia show, also known as the Great American Sports Card Show. It's a large show in southwestern Ohio.
Hmm.
And what would we do, or what do I think Gym City should do, or what do I think about this purchase?
Hmm.
Well, first of all, I'll address Gym City. Gym City, I think it was a good move. And the reason I think it was a good move is because Tops is asking us to be more influential in this hobby. And I'll be honest, Gym City, I don't really know who you are. And you're not that far from us. And you are actually probably maybe not actual shop size, but you're probably as big as us. You may even put up the numbers that we put up are close, but you're definitely less influential in this hobby. And
Yes.
so you purchasing this and putting your name to it was a great move. I think that was a good move
Hmm.
because just let's just be honest, 1,000 people at least are going to watch this, watch me say this, and so 1,000 people are going to see me say Gym City outside of Fairborn, Ohio, bought Great American. So it's worth it. It was a good move. Now, the first thing I would do, and I'm going to just break this down: A, B, C, and D. The first thing I would do is limit the tables. I would 100% limit the tables. As Bill alluded to, I don't particularly like that show. I don't think it's a great show. I do think it's more of like a flea market, and I personally have set up there 4 times, I believe, about a year apart each time. Haven't done it for a year and a half. I've never personally done very well there. I found the people that were shopping there were either flippers, people looking for stuff to put on Whatnot, or just economically depressed enough that they weren't going to buy hobby boxes at a show like that. I personally, again, don't think it's a great show. I think limiting tables helps a little bit to balance the crowd versus the amount of competition that each dealer has. I also think, as Bill mentioned, I know there's a weather issue there. And I think you moving the show completely is kind of out of the question. So limit the tables to a number that allows you to be in the best weather.
2 buildings.
Yeah, the 2 buildings that would allow you the best weather situation. I would say limit that show to 120 to 150 tables. That would be my suggestion. Now, I do have a caveat to that. Um, Part B, I would limit the frequency. I would 100% limit the frequency. I would do that no matter what. And again, I would cite the weather, as Bill cited, but not just the weather. Again, Bill cited, how are you going to make it special? Well, you make it special by making it less frequent. So you don't have to go quite that small to 120 to 150 tables if you're going to go 4 times a year or even 6 times a year. Make it bi-monthly, but do something there to kind of counteract just this big flea market feeling that it seems to have, or it kind of is overshadows it or whatever. 4 to 6 times a year, then base your tables on that. Again, to me, the ideal card show is about 60 to 120 to 150 tables max. You get bigger than that, you do not need to be monthly at all. There's no way. And C, I
Now
would,
they're purchasing this, right? They
yeah,
purchased it.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Just like everything in the hobby, everybody's trying to get it to where they don't have any money in it.
yeah,
So I have
exactly.
no idea. I have no idea how you would go from 300 tables to
Uh,
120 and not expect your payback to be within 18 months to 6 years.
okay, so I'm getting to that.
Okay, all
C,
right.
brand it everywhere. Brand your name to that thing as much as you can. You should have signs hanging up in those buildings that say Gym City, brought to you by Gym City. Do videos, do more videos, like talk about your connection to this. I would milk that part of it as much as I could. And that might offset this need for you to get your money back whenever, eventually, whatever. And D, I would raise the table prices. This is your opportunity. Take it from somebody who's been doing this for a while. People will look at you cross-eyed when you try to raise a table $5 to $15. Go ahead and raise those tables $25 a piece. Start it next month when you take over, and then limit the tables. You'll get the same amount of money. That's how this kind of thing works. Nobody's going to blame you for raising tables, and even if they are, what are they going to do about it? You'll attract dealers who can afford to pay for an actual table and it coming in there to make money. It can actually, it's a standard thing that, like, a lot of times people will set a price for something so it looks like a premium, so it looks like something special. And if you're going to continue to sell 400 tables at $40 a table, it just doesn't look special. And so that would be my advice to you. Now, I'm not saying You have to do all of those, but absolutely, to some degree, limit the tables, and absolutely, to some degree, limit the frequency. I think 150 table bi-monthly show branded well by you with tables that are more expensive is the best route. And that's what I would have done if I would have bought the show.
Yeah. Well, so the bad thing on that side of it is the reason why a lot of people will frequent that show is because the competition that they're able to buy off of this guy, or hey, if you don't sell it to me, there's a guy literally 2 rows over
Mm-hmm.
that will match your price or better because he wants my business.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take away those options and there's only a half or a third of the people there,
Mm-hmm.
you may have less people go to the show. There are multiple shows in, now I will say this, I would say in that general area, there are a lot of people that aren't booking shows that particular weekend
Mm-hmm.
due to it being so big. But if you limit it down to 100 to 150 tables, what keeps them from driving from Louisville, Kentucky up? Because there's other shows on the way from Louisville,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I think with a market where the shows are expanding,
Mm-hmm.
more shows than you've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
and there's definitely a definition breaking down between TCG and sports cards, and
Mm-hmm.
some are, and even vintage and stuff like that. There's different shows of different things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with that show right now, currently, you have the best of both worlds. You have a person that comes in that, like a Logan Harris, that he does a whatnot. He's definitely buying off people. He's definitely selling to people.
100%.
Downtown's big cards, huge cards, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He's selling those to those guys that are getting them to those people that are repackers.
Mm-hmm.
He's also setting up there buying stuff because he needs it for his whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take away a third, if you lose a half the dealers and you lose a third of the customers, that's a third less the people that he's going to be able to buy off of. So I think if you come in, you could raise the rent. I don't. It boils down to it. I mean, I get when you're a kid doing it and you're getting started in, you're like, oh my gosh, it's $50 or whatever, and that's a lot of money when you first start out. You're thinking back in the day, we thought $20 was a lot.
Absolutely.
But you know what? It's all about business,
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't hang with big boys, you can't make the money. Like getting into the national, if you can't afford to pay $1,500 for 4 days,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't be set up at that show.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason you should be at a show that you. So the price is fairly reasonable. You could raise it a little bit, make back some of your investments quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need to be into 4 buildings. I think if you limit it down to 2, or maybe the third building, you could actually come in with space heaters, or or you could rent a air conditioned unit to try to help out
At
on
least
certain
bigger
things.
fans or something.
Bigger fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think you could ever really do a fan fest or anything out of there, just because it just doesn't. You just don't get that clientele.
Yeah. The problem that I would have with just leaving it the same, just leaving it the same. The problem I would have is this hobby is continually evolving. And right now, there are people that are saying an Eastgate Mall show that I barely heard anything about 6 months ago might be now a regional show. That's not that far from that show. So you're going to have competition coming in and taking ground from you. And if you try to keep doing every month, second Saturday of the month, if that Eastgate show bumps up against it, people are going to Eastgate. It's the reality. So I think you have to make some adjustments constantly. If you just stay the same, this hobby passes you by.
Well, also you're looking at an Eastgate show is a mall show, and it's also 3 days.
Yes.
So to go to Eastgate on a Friday and go there on Saturday and then go back there on Sunday to Eastgate is, but it shouldn't come to a 2-day show. It should. I don't. People have talked about that before. Like, hey, it should be a 2-day show. I don't think it should be a 2-day show. It should be a one and done. Because when people come in, they have your option. Like on Whatnot, when you buy on Whatnot, a lot of people do sudden death. Either you buy it or you don't buy it. There's no option tomorrow.
Mhm.
unless you're going to go and meet this guy at another show. So it's either, do you want to buy it? It doesn't give you the ability to say, well, I'll think about it, come back tomorrow.
Mhm.
No, and it's a one and done. I think it was a good acquisition. I
Mhm.
mean,
I do too.
I didn't really have the. I mean, I knew the numbers, and I know Ken, and I've known him for a long time as an auctioneer. I mean, I probably could have talked to him, but it location for us is just off.
Mhm.
I don't want to spend an hour and a half trying to manage a show because you would be there just because your show would be there once a month or Rob once a year or whatever. Um, uh, you still would have to spend more time over there in promoting
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
Gem City being in the vicinity makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the one
Absolutely.
thing that's never been mentioned, and me and Rob have not mentioned this because we don't want to embarrass people that are in the following uh, a blazed trail. But I could have swore at one point uh, Rob and a certain other guy, who is me,
Mhm.
had the longest running Grove City card show at the Holiday Inn
Yes,
multiple years ago.
multiple
And
years. 15 years
I
ago or
think
so.
we did expand out past 12 tables at
We
one
had to
point.
we had to extend out of our room.
We had to extend out of our room.
Uh-huh.
I also was able to pay $5 and get a continental breakfast,
That was
which was amazing.
it was
Now,
pretty
now
good.
there was it was I mean it's continental breakfast. It was
Yeah.
$5. It
Yeah,
was
it
delicious.
was pretty good.
But I mean there were drawbacks to our show. We were going through growing pains. We never had a problem filling up the tables.
No.
We may have had
11.
problems with
All 11 or 12 tables
all
got
11 or
filled.
12 tables. We may have had a little bit of problem with some of the customers due to the lack of air that moved through there and certain people that may have not as
Mhm.
been as pleasant to been around.
Mhm.
And if you know, especially Sarah and Jane,
Yes.
who,
Yes.
anyways. But I'm not saying that we were there first, but I'm pretty sure we were. But anyways,
Mhm.
I'm glad that you guys have a show in Grove City. I do think that it's a great thing. I mean, I'm not saying card shows are good. I don't see a down I don't see a downtrend in card shows because the hobby is just got more expensive.
Mhm.
The only problem I see in changing is at some point you're going to have a big division
Mhm.
between what is being able to be hit in a hobby box
Mhm.
and being able to hit to a blaster and mega, and you're going to see less of that hobby box stuff out there, and then you're going to have people like, hey, I need this insert. Well, I can't get it because it's in a blaster, and that's all I can afford to buy.
Mhm.
So I mean, I see bigger divisions in the hobby
Mhm.
than just what show do you go to. But I mean,
Yep.
like there's this week there's a show in Chillicothe, Paper City, um, Paper City
Mhm.
card show or whatever it is.
Mhm.
It's at a church in Chillicothe. Next weekend, Greenie is at the
Mhm.
State Fairgrounds,
Yep.
which is in the past had multiple card shows there. The difference was they were more autograph guest shows,
Mhm.
and that brings in a clientele that does not care if they're paying $200, $250 for a jersey, and $200 for that guy to autograph it. They don't care if you have a $400 card. They're not going to you down on it
Mhm.
or try to negotiate a price. I don't think you get those type of people into that show. I think you still have the same flippers coming into that show, but with them being back to back on the same weekend, you definitely will get a lot of people from out of town that will either do one or the other or both that normally aren't in this area. So,
Mhm. No, that is true. There'll be an influx of collectors into the Columbus, Ohio
absolutely.
area.
And
Well,
that should be helpful for the card shops
I
because
would think so.
the shows only last for so long, and
Yeah.
father and sons up in Powell. I mean,
Mhm.
they're open till 6. Um, Ron Triple Plays open till 6. New Heart's open till 5 on Saturdays.
Mhm.
It is when you're in the area. I mean, everybody talks about going to Card Collector too. I've not been in the shop since it's been remodeled. I've been in a couple times before then. It's a nice shop,
Mhm.
but there are other quality shops in the area that if you're only going to get here once every 3 months or 6 months or whatever, you definitely should check them out and just see what the market is in the area. So,
Yeah. All right.
and you could come to Circleville.
Yeah, you could.
We're always open.
Yeah, we are 7 days a week. So,
Yep.
all right, guys, thanks for watching. And again, you may disagree with us, agree with us. That's perfectly
Yep.
fine. We've been doing this for a while,
We have been doing this for a while.
and a little bit longer than most of the people that
Mhm.
you would see, throwing content out there. To be
Yep.
honest. So, but yeah, just let us know what you think. And thanks for sharing, guys.
All
Thanks
right,
for
guys.
watching.
Hey, thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you next week.